Well, you made the right
So,
decision. Your performance landed you a Daytime Emmy for Best Young Actor. What was that moment
mhm.
like for you? That had to be amazing.
It was incredible, honestly. It was like 2 years ago when I did that. I was on
Mhm.
Beautiful and Beautiful, and I had been there for 2.5 years, and I was nearing the end of my contract there, and I had a really how can I put this? It was an interesting experience being there, being very few of the black actors on daytime television back then, and
Mhm.
when I joined the show, there was only like 2 people on there that were black, and
Mhm.
and just how it is in most occasions, we were put in the back storylines a lot. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're always kind of counterparts of other people. We really didn't have the opportunity to come forward. So when I did get my chance, when they were like, these next like 5 or 6 episodes going to be your character's arc dealing with the situation, I was like, okay, well, for sure. And then also by guidance of my mentor, Oba Babatunde. I don't know if y'all know who that is, but
Yep. Mhm.
the OG, he's been around for some years, and he really pulled me aside and taught me like how important it was for me to make sure that I use this opportunity and to really knock it out the park, and
And soap operas are great training because
Yeah,
it's a grind, right? Don't y'all have like 20, 30, 40 pages? Like y'all go through a
y'all
lot
are
of
doing,
pages
yeah.
every day.
yeah, and that's what I tell people is like soap operas are so essential, man. Like if you get the opportunity to be on them early on in your career, I always tell people to do it because right now there's only like 4 left. There used to be so many of them.
Are you
But
still you're at the CBS lot, right?
yeah, the
Right
CBS,
next, right next to the Price is Right stage?
yeah, right over
I
there.
did, I did the Price is Right for like 3 years. I was one of the Price is Right models, like way back, and I would see all the soap opera actors. There was nobody black on Bold and the Beautiful back then. It was
Nah,
like
and
2000.
tell you, the first time they implemented someone that was black was like a butler. When they first entered being on the show, they had a couple of butlers, a couple of, and then
Right.
gradually I was like the first young black guy that came on the show.
Mm.
So
Wow.
I was like, man, at first I was really wide-eyed. I was like, I don't know how to deal with this. And then, rest in peace, Christoph. I don't know if you know who that is, but he was on YNR for many years. And he was like the man over there. And he was the only black dude that I knew on that show. And he pulled me aside and he basically told me like, young brother, it's so important for you to know the responsibility you have.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I didn't even know him. He was like, I've seen a couple of your episodes, but he was like, you if you focus, you can have an opportunity to change people's perspectives on how they see color and how they see TV and how they see people in general. And I was like, damn, that really put a lot of pressure on me. But at the same time, that's what really drove me to do everything I did to get the Emmy that I ended up winning.
That daytime fan base they're loyal and they'll follow you. They really will. So,
I've been with you since Bold. I'm like, appreciate you.
yeah.
Stick with you.
Now, Mac,
Hmm.
you made your debut in Spike Lee's Miracle Boys. How'd you land that opportunity, and how was that working on that project?
It was crazy. I think again, it was a testament to just being young and hustling.
Mhm.
Uh, you know, once you kind of have something in your mind that you want, uh, you know, being like a dog and not letting it go, like really, really fighting for it. So again, it started just with an audition. Going out for auditions. I remember at first I was just looking for auditions in the back of backstage for anybody. I mean, I don't know if anybody even has backstage magazines anymore. Back
Yep.
then they were newspapers.
Throwback, throwback for real. And for people probably ask all the time, how do you get into it? I hope y'all are watching and listening right now. This is old school game. It was a magazine.
Yeah,
It was like a weekly, I think, right? Backstage.
yeah,
You have listings of extra roles, little feature parts, right?
I
yeah.
got magazines now that's backstage, but they don't put all that in it no more.
Yeah, bro. It was like back then. It was like a newspaper. You get it. You go all the way to the back, and they have all of like the open casting calls. So I used to go through a bunch of those, and God works in really mysterious ways and in very weird ways in my life. So like after weeks and weeks of doing that, I randomly at a McDonald's saw I guess like a post for uh a management company looking for new young talent. They were like, "Yo, bring us all of the new young talent. We want to see who you are." Blah 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 blah. Cool. Went to the joint. There was like 5,000 kids there in the McDonald's in Times Square. It was ridiculous. I'm like, I gotta beat everybody in here. Like that was my only mindset. Like, all right, cool. I just gotta, whatever they tell me to do, I just gotta go in there and kill everybody. And I, you know, after you know, finally getting my management company that I've been with since I started, since then, yeah, and they were the ones who kind of that pushed me into the right rooms to even get Spike Lee to look at me for Miracle's Boys. So yeah.
How old were you when you started? My bad.
I was 14 when it was official. Like 14, 13 is where I made up the idea, like, yo, I want to do it. Took a whole year of hustling, like every night, like every day, go out of school, get on the ferry across the city. It was crazy. But so 14 was like the first time I did anything. 15 is when I did The Wire.
That's wild to get a foot in the door that early on, where a lot of people, you know, people that we just see pop up on the screen, it's people think it's appeared.
Years.
It's like a 10-year grind to be an overnight success, I think. Have either of you experienced any race issues on set?
You know, it's I've experienced like gender inequality a lot on which happens. The racism is not so visible, you know, but it does happen. You know what I mean? And it's I mean I worked in New York one time, but it was like upstate. And I was doing this project up there, and they just had a way of making you feel like you didn't belong. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just a feeling you get like whenever you drive past a police officer or you go into a room full of white people, and it's not white people. It's just in me, and it's just what I've been brought up and accustomed to feeling. You know, like a way deeper rooted issue, but like the racism part of it on set, it really doesn't, you know, these days it's really diverse, you know what I mean, for the most part. But yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of like gender inequality, like directors pulling me aside about my female counterparts, you know, like trying to connect with you on some bro shit, but then some real off the wall shit. Like,
I know what you mean.